Zion roots. The Rasta light shine in the darkest hour. Herb make the soul feel Jah mighty power. Me blaze the chalice in the Zion breeze. Herb make the heart feel Jah peace. Them try fi dim the light, them try fi break the flame, but Jah herb strong and it call Jah name. From the ghetto streets to the mountain height, herb make the path straight, bring the light. The fire it blaze, the smoke it rise. Herb make the humble see Jah skies. Light up the herb, the flame so pure. Herb vibration make the soul secure. Rasta light burn, the darkness flee. Through Jah herb, me truly free. Rasta light, Jah fire in the soul. Herb vibration make the broken whole. From the valley low to the heavens high, Rasta light shine till the day me die. Them try to silence Jah holy vice, but Jah herb make the righteous rejoice. Me walk with Jah, me can't turn back. Herb light my path through the darkest track. Babylon crumble under Jah truth. Herb make the wisdom guide the youth. The fire burn high, the chalice pass round. Herb make the warriors stand ground. Through the storm, the Rasta light blaze. Herb make the soul sing Jah praise. The flame make the weary find rest at last. Herb chant guide the future and past. Rasta light, Jah fire in the soul. Herb vibration make the broken whole. From the valley low to the heavens high.
One of the things I like to do when giving our praises to the Most High is never forget where you come from, but always look forward to where you're going. And I think a lot of individuals lost sight of that. They really have. A large number of individuals really lost sight of that. We got to bring that back. We got to bring that back. I'm so thankful and grateful for the people tapping in. I'm live on Rumble, live on YouTube. We got to take it back, excuse me, and we got to look at things for what it really is. A lot of stuff has been going on, and it's not by design. It's not just happening just to be happening. It's happening for a reason. There's an agenda, and we're going to listen to what Shahrazad Ali has to say, because she's going to bring a lot of things home. She's going to pinpoint some things. She's also going to coin a phrase on some things of the reason why the behaviors that we see within a large number of Black men and women exist, where it comes from, and why. Grab your shoulder pads and your helmet and peep out this old clip. Let's continue to feast.
As I said, this book demonstrates that we are not as different as we like to think that we are. So what I'm going to go over real brief right now is what the attributes are of the good Black woman. Since she's not on television, we may not recognize her. Okay.
Major Stallion.
Now, the good Black woman has 7 attributes, and then I'm going to explain to you how to utilize those in your day-to-day life. The good Black woman has self-discipline, courteousness, cheerfulness, self-respect, intelligence, cleanliness, and love. Now, we've heard that terminology. You know, it's like one of those where they tell you pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. What do that mean? You know, how can I make that functional in my day-to-day life to benefit me as a practice? It sounds like all theory. Where's the practicum? What do I do? The good black woman has self-discipline. That's self-control. Let me make that real for you, sisters. We can start with our mouth. The good black woman can control her mouth.
It's not what you say, it's how you say what you say. And it's not a flex or getting on y'all or whatnot have you. We setting the tone for the things that we already see of what's going on, not just in the household, but when it comes to dating. Period. We're gonna talk to the elephant in the room and have a conversation with the elephant in the room. And if certain cages get rattled and shaken, so be it. But I guarantee you, you're gonna leave the king's table with a solution.
She don't have to say everything that comes up. It's okay if he get the last word sometime. You know, she don't cuss in public. And she works on not cussing in private. She don't tear a man down with her mouth because they can't out-argue us. Can't nobody out-argue us. I have charged that we nag our men too much. We keep our men's head tied up so much with our petty grievances about our personal relationship that he don't have time to think and plan for our future. Because he got to deal with what's going to happen with us every day. You know, it's real odd. When the black man come home, he almost have to do a wind test or stick his toe in the door. He don't know what's waiting. He don't know who in there today. He know it's a possibility that there's some kind of new monster that he didn't even know about yesterday. So, you know, we need to.
But also be advised, it's not what you say, but it is how you say what you say. Okay? Let's be advised of that. Sometimes it's always best to bridle your tongue. It's not worth it just fly off the handle. I say what I want to say. I do what I want. Well, you can, but there's going to be repercussions and consequences. Are you adult enough to handle those repercussions and consequences because of your verbal actions?
Not make it like that. We need to not be so vicious with our mouth. You know, men are not petty like that. They're not going to out-argue us. And it has been proven that verbal abuse is just as harmful as physical abuse. So let's not use our mouth to do that to him. The good black woman is courteous. She says, thank you, baby. I appreciate you doing that. I appreciate every effort you make. Try harder. I'm going to work with you. Thank you. I know you did your best. Now that's a whole new language.
But again, do you hear a large number of women speaking like this? Not those Meg Thee Stallion fans. They're not behaving like this. They behaving in a totally different way. Oh, like I said, we're going to talk to the elephant in the room today. Let's continue.
But just to say that during the course of the day, every day, with the man that you're trying to be with or want to be with, will make our life easier. We can't get it if we don't give it. We keep wanting them to give us and do something for us that we refuse to do and give to them.
Now, doesn't that ring a bell to y'all? Doesn't that ring a bell? Isn't that how a large number of women behave today? And they wonder why men don't approach them. They wonder why men ain't spent your body, your choice, my wallet, my choice. You wonder why a large number of men have picked up their shoulder pads and their helmet and they've walked away. We see it. See, most don't want to address accountability. No, we have to hold modern women accountable for the things that they do and say. You even have good women of good character holding modern women accountable. Good women of good character are saying, we see what the men are going through. We're seeing what the men have to put up with. We don't blame the men because, look, even though things are being addressed, modern women don't like the fact that good men and good women see it and calling it out because that exposed them. Just like with this whole Meg Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson thing. You know how many modern feminist women have been exposed just by this alone? They expose themselves. They tell on themselves. It goes to show how a large number of women react in their emotions, but yet men react logic. Because it was men sitting back doing the research. It was men sitting back saying, wait a minute, this don't sound right. Let me look into this. And the moment they did, they start pulling up receipts. What do modern women do? React in their emotions. And when it finally came out, after it's all said and done, Klay never cheated. There was never no proof. There was no videos, there was no photos, there was nothing. You mean to tell me all it took was for Meg Thee Stallion to say that? And also contacting different networks? Well, we know that wasn't Meg Thee Stallion, that was her PR. We get that. Well, now look, it's a money grab for both. It's marketing. It's some good shit. It's real good. It was good for Megan and it's good for Klay Thompson. So if you really want to talk about it, it's publicity. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It's a win-win for both, in my opinion.
It don't work like that. The good black woman has self-respect. She don't have to go out naked just to get the attention of a man. I have sisters all over the country, and they come up to me after the lectures, and they'll be talking to me, and they'll say, well, you know, all he think about is sex. All he think about is my body. I say, why don't you show him something else?
They don't know how. They don't know how. That's all they know. Go back to their history.
And then here's the really good one. They'll come up and they'll have on a weave. They have on false eyelashes, another whole face, false fingernails, and all of that. And then they'll say, but I'm looking for a real man.
Doesn't that ring a bell? The long eyelashes, the fake hair, the fake nails, BBLs, breasts done. Talking about you want a real man. Okay. But ain't nothing on you real. Everything on you is fake. Also, you get what you deserve. You want something, you betraying the fakeness, you're going to get fake.
It's real, B. I say, why? What you want a real man for? The good black woman can pull a dress down without thinking that it devalues her. She doesn't have to use her body because she has so many other good attributes about herself to get the attention of a man. We can take the sisters in a position to take all of the charge and sexual energy out of the black community by just dressing differently. We have the power and control over that. That don't stop you from being beautiful. That don't stop you from getting a man. And it certainly puts things on the right perspective so some other judgments can be made other than physical. It don't take no knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to have a sexual reaction. That's the most base. We spend less time doing that than anything else we do. So, that doesn't always have to be the forefront issue. We know we are capable of that. The good black woman has intelligence, meaning that she knows how to behave properly in the streets. She's not in the wrong place. Some of our women don't know what else to do other than go to the bar. They need some activities. Some of our women thinking that staying home on the weekend is some kind of sin. Some of our women think that if they don't have a new outfit to wear every day, that they're going to self-destruct. We have a lot of that kind of nonsense going.
Or if they don't get their weave done, it's a problem. No, we addressing it. We are addressing it. Let's continue the feast. For those chiming in to YouTube and Rumble, please put a number 1 in the chat. Like the video, comment, let your soul speak. Like I said, we having a conversation with the elephant in the room today. Let's continue.
Every time we buy new outfits and clothes or whatever, all we're doing is sending money out of our community. We don't own no clothing stores. If the white man closed the shoe factory, we'd all be here barefooted tonight. We don't own no shoe factories. Very base things that we don't own, that we put our money into and demand we have to have them. A lot of times our men look at us and know that he ain't never going to be able to make enough money to give us all of the things we say we want. And don't no man want to be with no woman who he constantly got to deny her the things that she says she wants. And that represents failure to him, to have to always, not be able to provide us with what we ask for. One of the ways we can do that is to start being satisfied with less. The good black woman is clean. Now that's a hard one. The good black woman try to keep the house clean. Good black woman is clean by her own body. A lot of those things we kind of take for granted, but all of our people don't know about that. There are people who are angry with me because I even describe the fact that some of us as sisters don't have the proper personal hygiene, as if that don't exist. We have too much falsehood and pretense going about our condition. Everybody that's dressed up ain't clean.
And it's not to throw shade, it's not to throw flame on a woman, but this is the truth. This is the honest to Yahshua truth. See, when we talk about speaking to the elephant in the room, having a conversation with the elephant, this is that. Times have changing. Generations have shifted. And we're seeing it right in front of our eyes. Oh, trust me, this is her speaking now. Then. Wait till we get to the now.
That's just the truth. We have to look at our condition in the light of truth. Stop reacting emotionally and pretending that just because we don't want to deal. One of the most difficult things that I deal with out here is trying to teach our people the difference between an actual fact and an opinion. Our people think that they can accept or reject truth based on how they feel about it. Your feelings don't change the truth.
Ain't that something? The truth is, and will always be, and will stand, Klay Thompson never cheated. There was no proof. But your emotion, the fact that she said something without proof. You look up to Meg Thee Stallion. That's your God. Really. Even to the point a large number of y'all were talking about cheating on your man in honor of her. You can mess around if you want to. You're going to find out real quick. And you'll have some fools that will do that because that's what they do. And if they are willing to go that far, because again, when you sell your soul to the things of this world and you make material things and money your God, the devil will come to collect. So there will be repercussions and consequences behind your actions. You can mess around if you want to. Men ain't playing in this season. Men are standing on business and sitting on chrome. Let's continue to feast.
The truth is just gonna be there. You can feel any kind of way you want to feel about it. Those kind of emotions have kept us from growing. Because anything we don't like, we just reject that and say, well, I don't believe that. That don't mean that it's not the truth. It just makes you a disbeliever. The good black woman practices non-possessive loving. Now, y'all know that's a hard one. Now, envy is wanting what someone else has. And jealousy, of course, is just selfishness. Non-possessive loving is not an easy one for us to practice. And, of course, I have a lot of sisters and some brothers who are in disagreement with me saying that. But the actual fact is that our men are outnumbered about 5 to 1. And nature is going to require that the men take responsibility for more than one woman and her children. Most of our men have children by more than one woman anyway. So I don't know why that was such a surprise, allegedly, when I said that. The black man has not been waiting on me to tell him he could have more than one woman. You know, I'm in agreement with the rest of y'all. I don't think he should do that, but I feel like you did. There are some things perhaps about the nature of our man that we have been given some definitions about that are not true. There are some things he can do that we call him a dog. We do not have the same capabilities as a man. I am not talking about...
I'm glad she said that. I'm glad she said that. Women do not have the same capabilities as a man. And when a woman tries to, she fails. Stop trying to compete with men. Stop trying to do what men do. Stop trying to be like men be. Be who you are. Stay in your lane. Nobody's going to eat your crunch and munch.
About fornication and adultery. That's something else. I'm talking about actual responsibility of fatherhood and husbandhood of another family. That's quite different from fornication and adultery. We don't have the same capabilities of them. That's right. A man can have 2 homes, 2 sets of in-laws. He can eat dinner at 2 houses, 2 sets of children, 2 garages, 2 separate sets of friends attached to that woman. He can have all of that. We can't do that. We can't cook dinner at 2 houses. We can't sleep with one man 4 nights a week and another one 3. Ain't no man gonna agree with that. We can't have one set of children we leave in one place and go and stay in another place and take care of another set. It doesn't work for us. Now that does not mean that we can't have sex with more than one man. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just taking responsibility for your children. Now certainly every man can't take financial responsibility for all of his children. He can do something. But a man who is spending time with a child is going to do something for it. Because then they'll find out what we have since we've been taking care of them by ourselves. You don't like to always say, no, I can't do it. No, I ain't got it. So the children will make you get it up. You spend some time with it. You know, that's an important thing. The effectiveness of the principles that I just described, their usefulness has not diminished just because modern opinion has changed about them. There is not a black man in this room who does not still enjoy it if his woman bake him a cake. Well, our young daughters are being raised and taught that that's old style and that's out of fashion. We are not making those rules. Somebody else is, and they're imposing them on us and making us think that we have to qualify under them. 'Cause, 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 I tell the brothers, just like I tell the sisters, if you have a woman that you've been working with for months or years, and you can't get that woman to get in agreement with your program, then get rid of her and get another one.
Well, you heard it. Big Truck cannot be making this ish up. Now, that was then. Let's get to the now.
It's like a lot of the so-called ministers and preachers and different people we got out here, they're not teaching you to worship God. They're teaching you to worship them. Okay? God don't need money in that way. And there has never been a God recorded that lived in high riches like all of the people that say they represent God do today. It's not a necessity. Okay? In fact, when you really are strong in your faith, you don't even want a lot of material things as proof that you are in contact with God. You know, the blessing is survival. The blessing, the supreme blessing, is peace.
And that's one of the things I strongly bring home. Peace. Man's peace is everything. Don't matter where you at. You could be in your home. You can be out of your car. You can be somewhere on the universe on the other side of the globe. But long as you have peace, long as you have peace of mind, you winning. Long as you have peace within yourself, you winning. And this is the difference between man and woman. I don't need material things. Material things don't make me. I chose not to sell my soul to the things of this world and make material things and money my God. Did I have a choice? Yeah, I had a choice. Everybody got a choice. But it's up to you of what you gonna do and how far you are willing to go. Meditate on that.
Which is something we don't have. We don't have peace. We're not even familiar with it, other than saying peace or peace and love and things like that. But as a way of life, as to practice it in our homes and over our children so that we can model a new idea. That's the only way to change a people. You change their idea. You don't have to change their environment. You don't have to charge them nothing. You don't have to join no group. Just change your idea. And the rest of all of you will get in line with that, and you will be successful in whatever that idea is. Now, that idea can be robbing a bank. That idea can be murdering somebody. But if you get in agreement in your mind to do it, it can turn out all kinds of ways. So we should get in agreement in our mind to practice doing things a different way, to raise our children a different way, and stop treating the children like they are a burden, you know, and that they are in the way. And all that talk about the children are the future. Well, we looking at the future now. Do we like it? No, we don't like it. Our children are savage running the streets. We've let them get raised up on all the nonsense on every media that we could afford to buy them. That's not anything we're proud of. They're very ignorant and disrespectful and embarrassing, and most of us are afraid of them because they're so savage. They have no predictability. I had a high school ask me to come and speak to the seniors because that one book I have, Things Your Parents Should Have Told You, it was required reading in a lot of schools at one time, that the children had to read this and understand it before you get your diploma, especially in New York. And so I would look at the condition of the children and recognize that we're looking at the tomorrow. And we don't have an alternate plan. There's a few good brothers out here with some schools now for black boys especially. Okay, we need that. We need them for the girls. And that's another thing I want to mention. We need to start letting we add to ourselves is because
I had to fast forward a little bit. I'm gonna be fast forwarding here and there, so bear with me. But again, we're getting down to the root of it all, and we're getting down to the meat and potatoes of it all. All right, let's continue.
Because of our low self-esteem and low value for ourselves, and we think we have to have something made by somebody else to adorn ourselves with to get your attention. It all leads back to you. God is a man. All right, everything leads back to you, even if we're fighting you. Okay, we want y'all way more than you want us. You all don't. We make it seem like it's the opposite way. Okay.
And I like the fact that she said that she highlighted that because on social media we hear a large number of women say, "We don't need no man. We don't need no man." Well, Miss Shahrazad Ali done said it. Women need men more than they think. But at the end of the day, we all need each other. We all need each other. We both the prize. There ain't no woman's the prize and that's it. No, women are the prize, men are the prize. It's two good people that come together. They both are the prize to each other.
But the desperation that we live in because of our loneliness and not being able to mate, even intellectually.
From what I understand, you spoke to Kevin Samuels numerous times, and he acknowledged your work as being the inspiration for his views about relationships in our community, right? Did you agree with Kevin Samuels' approach?
No, I didn't agree with Kevin Samuels. He agreed with me. And he was always so respectful to me. And we were getting ready to do something, though. We were going to do a big thing in Atlanta. And then he went and died. So I guess that wasn't supposed to happen. But, Kevin, the book woke him up, and it gave him the courage to discuss and address these things since I had did it and had put out the blueprint. And so he was a bit crude. I had told him I didn't think he would be successful because of how he was going about it. But he told it the way he saw it, and he was not successful. He was successful in his platform, getting hundreds of thousands of people.
A lot of times a lot of times what we do is some things we'll say, some things we'll do, not always going to be agreeable. We are going to agree to disagree, granted. But when we really sit back and we get the meat and potatoes out of it. Now, I've had like 2 conversations with Kevin Samuels, one by email, one by phone. And, like you said, be yourself. One of the things he's always said, he said, be yourself. I haven't known him like that. One of my shorts came across his feed, and he reached out. We talked on email. We've had one phone conversation that lasted about 20 minutes. But it was the best 20 minutes ever. And the things that he said to me, I take that to heart. Be authentic, be yourself. Tell your story from your perspective. You don't never know what the next man or woman is going through until they hear your testimony. So yeah, there's just those things there. Let's continue.
3, 4, 500,000 people were, tuning in to hear him and his comments. But I don't know. I'm sure it benefited some of the women because it put us in check about what we think our overrated value is. Okay? And we think we have a greater value because we think that we are in charge of sex. Okay? And most men will just about do anything or go along with anything if they think that. Well, that's changing. Okay? That is not all completely the way it was. This is the thing I wanted to mention, and I don't usually talk about this. when I say that we're living in trends. The messenger talked about when we get out of control or too savage that we live in a beast life. Okay. Our younger people, that children of the future there, are living somewhat of a beast life. Because the new trend now, and I only know about this because they put it out there in the public on the Instagram and the internet and on the Facebook and everything. One of the things that scientists say separates the humans from the animals is that humans mate face to face. Animals mate from the rear. Well, it's popular now that that's what they're all doing, mating from the rear and doing all.
Basically, what she's going to go into is the worldliness of anything goes during intimacy that individuals engage in, if that makes sense. And the different activities that individuals engage in, some of those activities can be disgusting or on a whole nother level that disrespects the natural way two people are intimate with each other, if that makes sense. Let's continue.
All kind of other distasteful things and calling it sex. That's a bad sign. Okay. There's a different connection, as we all know, of face to face than another kind of way. People are getting hurt. They're choking each other. They're spitting in each other's mouth, doing all kind of things that would never, ever have been considered as sexual pleasure. There's something wrong in that. I don't.
Now, let's just say two individuals have a freaky side to them that they only do to each other behind closed doors. And it stays there. All right.
I don't know how long they're going to be practicing that, and they're even doing oral sex in people's anus and their behinds, all kind of stuff, crazy stuff. And I'm talking about it because we need to know, and we need to start trying to teach something differently. Okay, that's not no love. That's not no showing of love. That's something crazy, and the girls are accepting it. The young women are being choked, or somebody spitting in their mouth. All kind of insanity things, and they calling it sex. That ain't no sex. I don't know what kind of beast life that is, but that's another trend that I hope passes, because that's taking it to such a low level. Where can it go after that? And how long then will generations think that that's affection?
I believe he helped bring interest into your works with a new generation.
No, I don't think so. I think it just it was so personally, individually critical. I don't think that ever helps. I think you have to be civilized and you're asking and telling, and I don't think that that kind of overly critical criticism of an individual, each person individually, no, that does not help, especially publicly. As I said, we already got low self-esteem. And that don't mean build us up on some false bravado. I don't mean that. But I mean, we just have to be more gentle with each other. We are damaged creatures.
Let me reword it. I apologize. I wanted to ask, do you think his work brought more attention to your book? With a new generation, with a younger generation that probably didn't know about your work.
I'm not sure. See, the other thing is, remember, we're in a society where they're teaching against reading. All right, everybody either want to hear it or see it.
Not only that, but also we're in a generation of when an individual speaks truth, that individual is criticized. That individual is disrespected. Okay. That individual's character then has been assassinated because they spoke the truth. So, we in that time where everything that was being said back in the 90s of what was going to happen now, no one took heart. They didn't take that seriously. Until now, then it's like, wow, really? But back then in the 90s, yeah, back in the 90s, we was being warned. Back in the 90s, we was in a black student union and it was talking about all of this. Back in the 90s, we were having conversations. The brothers and the sisters got together and we had friendly debates that ended up with knowledge sharing. Now, look what we see.
So reading is not as popular. So I'm not sure if it worked that way. My sales have been impacted on a lot of things. That must be 50 books out called The Black Man's Guide and The Black Woman's Guide. So many people have copied, my title. So I'm not sure it worked that way. I'm still selling books, and I'm sure, there's still brothers out there now trying to take his place. So that's just, the way that turned out. He got me, I think, more attention toward me as a writer, as a sister, But I know my place in the world, and I am just a woman. That's not an insult. That's not a put down, but I am not a man. See, God is a man. You represent God. And I tell black women, the closest you may ever get to God is being with a black man. Because he looks more like you than me. And we have so many things out here affecting our respect and image of self. That's the other reason black women don't want to believe that the black man is God, because they think the black man they know ain't nothing, and that y'all ain't nothing, so there ain't no way you could be God. In fact, you have some brothers who have surrendered, and they walking around talking about the black woman as God. Some more absurd, silly nonsense
When did
that
that
we
start?
waste our time on.
When did that start? This notion that the black woman was God.
Well, they just have surrendered. It can't be me because I can't do nothing. I ain't got nothing and look like she more successful or whatever. And so we just decide then she must be God. That's what a man do. I don't know no man that would decide that. And I try to correct every brother I run into about that. They think they complimenting me by saying the black woman is God. But I'm not God, and I don't want that job. Okay, I got enough to do. I don't want that responsibility, and I don't have that power.
I wanted to touch on, before we get to the last two questions, I want to touch on something you said where you said black women, they don't see much in black men, right? Mm-hmm. And from personal experience, what I noticed that even if you're, I don't know these terms they use, highly performing, even if you're just a great guy, right? Mm-hmm. They still can't see the greatness in you.
They still what?
They still struggle to see the greatness in you if you're a great person.
Well, as I said, we've been all taught against each other so hard. We have to talk more. Now, that's one thing Kevin did. He got more black men speaking out about their dissatisfaction.
Yeah, he did. More on the lines of speaking out of likes, dislikes, what men need from women. And I'm in agreement with Miss Ali with that. More black men and women need to have more conversation with each other. They need to continue to go back to that conversation. Stop making things so transactional. Man don't have to take you out, because if two people really like each other or interested in each other, who cares? Who cares? Listen, I know women that would not mind taking a man out on a first date because it don't matter. She's interested in him. He's interested in her. I can care less about going to a damn restaurant, the food in the restaurant, the name of the restaurant, the ambiance of the restaurant. If I want to get to know you and I'm interested in you. It doesn't matter where we go. But see, when you have two people who have that same mindset, that's golden right there. So would it be safe to say we got to get back to that? Simple coffee date ain't, hey, cool, let's do it. Go out for ice cream. Okay, let's go. Let's go out for a walk. Let's go. You know what type of person you dealing with. Present that. And if an individual have a problem with that, then you know, okay, you're not trying to get to know me. But we got to get back to that place of having those conversations.
Well, dissatisfaction produced change. One of the changes has been more of our men are going offshore seeking other women who they say know how to act more like a woman. All right? It's like we'll tell a man, everything you do, why don't you act like a man? When you all have never challenged our womanhood, you all have never told us, why don't you act like a woman?
And you know what? The more you have men saying that, you notice how the reaction would be. Well, why don't you act like a man? Well, why don't you act like a woman? Why don't you act like a lady? See, that's throwing it back at them. Men started throwing it back at them, boy, and they could not take it whatsoever. But is that man being truthful? Yes, he is. A real woman is not going to require a man to spend money on her on the first date. $200, $300, $500. A woman is not going to have all these requirements that modern women have for a man. A good woman is going to breathe easy. She's going to be relaxed. She's going to go with the flow. Even if it is a coffee date or an ice cream date or a walk in the park, she's okay with that. You have to know what type of person you're dealing with.
It's not in you. But we'll tell you real quick, why don't you act like a man? Well, how do we know what a man act like? Most of us didn't have a father. We didn't have a model. We only saw fathers on television and in movies. And they gave us certain ideas that white people have that they themselves don't live up to. Okay? Their fatherhood is built on them being able to provide. And they kept you from being able to do that so that you could not have that. And that's another reason I say that we have to teach our men how to be fathers, how to deal with babies, how to change a diaper, how to do all of those things. You made that. That's your idea.
And I believe men on that aspect would not have a problem. Let me highlight this. You have a lot of good fathers out there that have not been given their flowers. You have some good mothers out there that have not been given their flowers. But a large number of individuals have been conformed to what society says a man and a woman has to be. So to get through that, men and women have to be willing to change their mindset and change the way that they think. And be willing to unlearn the things that they have learned.
So you need to be a part of how it's going to be reared and how to handle it. Many of our brothers now ending up with their children because many of our women, sometimes they have them, and then after, 5 or 6 years, they decide, I don't want to be no parent no more. And so they giving the child away to the father. And then sometimes the fathers are trying to get their children, and you all have a very difficult time because the enemy don't want you to be able to do that, be involved with that, because they are so used to pretending that they're on our side. They're not on our side. The white woman is not on our side because we also think that she's nicer. It's better to deal with her. That's his mother. She's not on our side.
I was gonna ask.
That's his mama.
There is the idea floating around, guys. I know interracial dating for numerous reasons. So I'm not saying every black man with a white woman has views the white woman as superior. I don't want to say that. I don't know if that's the case, so I won't say that publicly, right? But there is an idea circulating that white women are nicer than black women.
Well, they are, because they haven't gone through what we have. They don't have the history we have. Why shouldn't she be nice? I remember one time I was in New Orleans doing a program, and we came out of this restaurant, and there was a white woman sitting on the curb, middle-aged white woman, and she was begging for change and everything. I said, I'm not giving you nothing. You a white woman. You got everything at your disposal that you could have in this country, and you sitting out here begging. And I told my party, don't give her nothing. I said, y'all just need to get up and go somewhere and clean yourself up and be white, and you'll get something going, all right? If not, if one of these stupid Negroes will get with you, but you got to clean up and do better than that. I say, but so she has certainly a better opportunity. Now, lower class white woman is not going to agree with that. She thinks she's having it as hard as black people. In fact, she thinks we the reason she having it hard. All right?
You'll have some that will agree with what Miss Ali said, and you have some that will disagree. You can always do something. I say, the world is your oyster. It is up to you to make an executive decision of what it is that you need to do that is going to be better for you. A lot of times, yes, I get it. We have a big, huge homeless crisis here in America. Depending on what state you in, you'll see in some places it's worse than others. But if you really sit down with a homeless person and have a conversation with that homeless person will share some things with you that will blow your mind. You have some that were teachers, engineers, instructors that had amazing lives, but they hit a stump. And once they hit that stump, everything went downhill. And you have some that just given up on life. And you have some that hit a stump, went down, and have the ability to come out of it. But they got comfortable staying there. So that's where they stayed. They got comfortable. Why pick myself up out of this situation? Yeah, I have the ability to. Yeah, I know I can. But I like it better here. Ain't got to worry about nothing. And another thing about homeless people, they see everything. They see more than the average I do because they out there.
All right. But it's really not like that. That white privilege that they talk about is real. That's very real. And we practice a little of it with each other on the lighter skins and the darker skins. We ate every idea they fed us. We ate it. Even though it was all against self. They taught us to want that. And we still continuing to do that now.
When it comes to interracial dating, I'm all for it. Love who loves you. Your blessing can come in any shape, form, size, and color. I want to see everybody win. I want to see every man win, every woman win. Every black man win, black woman win. I want to see those win. But the real question is, do you want to win?
We have learned to practice the technology they practice, and so we have distrust of each other. You're going to trick me, or I'm going to trick you. Just all kind of nonsense that we cannot dig up out of it until we give them their God back. We can't do it. It's just impossible. You can't hold on to everything that they stand for and then say you're going to make a change, because everything that they stand for is designed to destroy us.
And using our standards based on their standards, I think, is also a big.
Because they're not the same. They're not the same. Your nature's not the same as his. We keep pretending that they're human and have the natural feelings of sympathy and everything. They don't have none of that. It's not in them. You have it in you. Nobody never saved nobody but you. And you have been beat down so discouraged that it's very difficult. But I want you to know that you will be the winner. You are the original man. God didn't make everybody and then make you.
We are the original Hebrew Jews. Period. That's it. That's all. And that's another thing. That's why I always tell men and women too, know who you are and whose you are in the season of your life. You better know it. Stop walking around here blind. Every other race knows where they can go, but us. And you look on the internet, we're the only race that will sit up there and disrespect each other. Tell our business. Meg Thee Stallion, for example, going on social media, telling business. Certain things certain conversations should be had in private. You see? And look what happens. Things spread like wildfire. All right.
He made you first, and everybody was modeled after you on some level. That's real talk. That ain't to soothe your ego. These are actual facts that if we could get our men to understand and accept, and I know it don't look like it now. I know some of the guys in the gutter. I know some of them in prison. Some of them on drugs. Some of them out here acting ignorant. Some of them pretending to be a woman. But that does not change the foundation of who you are and who made you, who is on your side, and who will pay the enemy back for what he has done to us.
You were saying that one of the greatest threats to black women is loneliness.
Yes.
Right? Can you elaborate on that more?
Well, once again, you're paraphrasing me, but yes.
Paraphrase it.
Because, I tell you, I have to say that.
Paraphrase
because people go around saying I said all kind of things, and I didn't say that, but it was something similar to that, okay? Yeah. Well, because we can survive without a man. We do, all the time, all over the country, for years. We can survive without sexual intimacy. We can survive. We can make it, all right? But we're not satisfied, okay? I'm not going to say happy, because the word happy is not in the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran, so it can't be that important. They've made it important to us because we spend money for happiness, all right? And we think it's everybody pick out what they want to have happiness, all right? But as I said, peace is the number one thing that creates happiness and allows all of the other things to grow and happen.
When it comes to woman and it comes to man, I believe that, yes, we both need each other. And when it comes to happiness from each other, I believe where we at now and how the generation has changed when it comes to relationships now as versus where it was back then. Back then, people didn't want to be alone. You know what I'm saying? Why be alone when we can be together? Okay, then what things can we do together so that we can assure that? And they both put that work in. They both did their part. Now it's being used like everyday wording. Oh, I want to be by myself. I don't mind being alone. Give me my cats and so forth. Why be alone when you don't have to? But also, when it comes to dating, the two people are going to have to conform to each other. The two people will submit to each other because that's how two people grow. I also believe that the wording has been disrespected and taken out of context to its natural use. So when we say submitting, man submit to his woman, woman submit to her man. It's both saying we're going to yield to each other. It's a constant growth between each other. But the word submission has been used and disrespected and taken out of context and used as something negative when it was never intended to be used for something negative. Let's continue.
But we're very lonely because of our men being so discouraged right now. Okay? Some of our best brothers are in prison. Okay? They get a different education there. And we are struggling, of course, with the mental health issues that has been forced on you by living in a hostile environment your entire life. Okay? A personal rejection is that's hard to handle over the years, you know. Many of you have been rejected by your father. Some of you have been rejected even by your mother.
So when we talk about rejection, men have been hitting rejection pretty hard, and you have some women that begin hit hard with rejection. So I believe men have gotten used to it. Rejection, you have gotten used to rejection, so that when a man approaches a woman, tries to get her number, wants to talk to her, and he gets rejected, okay, cool. Versus a woman having a hard time accepting rejection, because if you trace it back to her childhood, she was always rejected. If she wasn't rejected by her mother, she was rejected by her father. You see, that's where child neglect comes into play too. So you can also say that she was neglected. So when you understand these principles and understand these things, then it gives you an idea of how an individual moves as an adult. That's why it's always best to always go back and have a conversation. What took place in your childhood? What was said to you? What was done to you? What type of environment that you were around? Because all of these things are going to play a factor as an adult of why, when it comes to your social life and your love life, you hit a wall.
And the entire society. That's very hard, and we don't consider that. Now, I know right now it looks like we're having a harder time, but we ain't never had as hard a time as you, because the enemy has always tried to take your place and make you look inadequate by giving us everything we need for us and our children to survive. So I looked at the television the other night, and that new guy, that Swarmer Harmon, whatever his name is, that's running in the election, a Republican, he said that many of our women keep the man out of the home so that we can get certain benefits. I'm paraphrasing him, but that's what he said. And that is such a great lie. It was the white man's idea to put y'all out of the house. That wasn't our idea. We tried to keep you in there. We would hide you under the bed, in the closet, anywhere. We weren't trying to separate from you. Plus, if you got a whole project area with a lot of women and children, where do they think them children came from? Okay, there's some men in and out there some kind of way. So, this is a lie that they perpetrated. Now they're going to turn it back on us. This is how it's done. All right? The entire objective is to keep you and me apart. Whatever the risk is, whatever the cost is.
And we see that now. We see that in today. The division agenda. How can they keep black men and black women separated? And you know what? For the most part, It's working to a degree because the things that we see, it's like on one hand, a large number of individuals get it. On the other hand, they don't get it. Why is there so much division between a black man and black woman? Why? Because number one, black is the most dominant race on the planet, period. Number two, procreating. You see what I'm saying? Because if you trace it back to the Torah and you trace it back to the word, that's why they were killing newborns. They were killing off the boys. You see? Anything to emasculate a black man's character, gonna do that. Any way to get to the man, the black man, gonna use a black woman. We see this. We see it. Because when you have a powerful black household intact, that scares the other side.
They would rather deal with that than allow us to get together. You know, when I was young, they used to say that mafia stood for Mothers and Fathers in Association. I don't know if that's true, but it makes sense, all right? Because you can always do better with a helpmate. You can do better with peace, all right? That's the greatest inspiration. All right? I know how it affects myself. As I've written books over the years, I couldn't do them if anything else was going on. If I was waiting to pay my taxes, or if I had to go to a doctor appointment or something at the school, my head, everything calmed down where I was at peace and and then the ideas could come in. And creativity is like that. As I said, I know that it's like that because it just come into you and then you have to get it out of you, no matter what it is. You know, we are creative like that. We are just, as an example, the white art.
Black men and women are so creative on so many levels and amazing inventors. And half of them don't even get the credit for the things that they've done. But it also goes to show the creativity and the mindset of black men and women when they put their minds and their heads to something and they are focused, what type of job gets done.
Art museums. There's nothing but nonsense in there. We know it's just pure silliness. That art they talk about is art makes no sense. Their paintings are all, if it'll be maybe exactly like something. Now they like that realism because then they don't have to create nothing. Just paint the apple, and there it is, and it's already an apple there, you know. But it comes up out of you. You don't have to have that kind of inspiration. If you can get cooled out, it bothers you so long until you have to get it out. And so many, the way many of us wear our hair, the way many of us have a certain kind of nose, the way many of us wear certain jewelry, that's all different tribes. We wasn't one tribe that came to America. And so we have those things still in us. And we try to express them, even with the long hair. And I know that's, that's not the best thing we need to do is to put all that different fake stuff in our hair. But who has been the model of beauty for the black woman in America? Who has been the model for hair for the black woman in America? The white woman. So we want our hair like hers. We want to mimic that. That was our model. And we don't, we want to make it black colored hair. But then too, we got slews of black women who have blonde hair, who are getting skin lightness. The self-hate we have been taught, you almost can't, how you quantify that?
Even the self-hate that a large number of black women have for a large number of black men. We see that. And hate is such, in my opinion, Hate is such a disrespectful word.
Okay, and the more false stuff we have on, the more we hate ourselves. That's what that shows. You even got the brothers now getting weaves and getting braids and everything. We are not making the kind of progress we think we are.
What do you say to people who always say we are making progress? People would love to say that we're making progress. Race is no longer an issue. People are doing great.
What is no longer an issue?
People say race is no longer.
Oh, that's
an issue.
crazy. That's ridiculous.
I know.
Race is
I know
no
you
longer
heard that
an
one.
issue. Race is the only issue, and everything else just is lined up after that. But I have talked with people who have a similar idea that things are so much better now. Well, it depends on what kind of equation you're setting up. If you're saying that they're not coming to our door at night, pulling us out, lynching us, they don't do that as much. They still do it. They just call it the police and that it's legal. These things are still happening. As I say, we're living in a hostile environment, and a friend of mine once told me, we're trying to normalize our captivity. We're trying to act like it's okay, I'm all right, everything's fine, I got a job, I got an apartment, I got a car, I'm going on vacation, we having a family. We can't say that a name is not important. If it hadn't been important, they wouldn't have took it from us. Everything was geared to control us and turn us into a slave for them.
When did you change your name, and how liberating was it?
My first husband, Brother Solomon, named me. He said, Shahrazad, equality. Now, I know y'all don't think differently, okay? Because it's a good way to express you. I advise anybody that wants to do something, write some poetry, but don't try to make it poems. It's wonderful. Oh, I was just trembling. Just said, dear Sister Shahrazad. And that's in one of our prayers. So when we're doing evil, when we're doing something bad, it may look like physically that we're doing it to that person or some other organization, but you're really doing that to yourself. You don't have to believe in God, because God believes in you. Okay? And we practice certain kinds of evil in private and in public, and we make excuses for doing it, and we're just being greatly unjust to ourselves.
I'm going to leave a copy of this in the description box. She says some amazing things. Go back, check it out. Miss Shahrazad Ali. I mean, she goes in with it. And I chose to do this piece, to live stream this piece, because it's a lot of things that us as a people need to know, need to learn, need to understand, need to unravel. Like I say, men and women need to have a conversation with each other. We need to address the elephant in the room. We need to set aside the pride and the ego. And sometimes we just need to bridle our tongue and open up our ears and hear to listen, to understand. You know what I'm saying? The only way for me to understand a woman is to listen to a woman talk, and vice versa. Listen to a man talk, and you'll understand that it's worse, but also it opens the doors to understand each other. I want to understand the woman. Woman wants to understand the man. Well, we have to make it happen to where we both come in the middle. We both meet in the middle. Leave the attitude and the egos and all that stuff out the door and come to the middle. Come in the middle so that we can listen to each other, so we can understand each other, so we can compromise, so that when we leave the table, we leave with solutions. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. It's your boy, Big Truck. I'm gone. One.
Rasta light shine till the day me die. Forever burning Jah fire true. Herb make the heart renew. The Rasta light shine with eternal glow, guiding me spirit wherever me go.